Hey everyone, it's Kristen, and today we're doing the last video from my Throne of Glass series, and this is the new cover art for Kingdom of Ash. First, I wanted to start with the highest hill and the stag, or the Lord of the North. Here I'm sketching out the shape of the stag. First sketching out the shape, and then I'm going to be filling it in with the black face paint. I wanted to start out with the stag first to make sure I got the proportions right, and I thought it would be one of the harder elements to draw. Also, he's supposed to be looking down from the hill at the castle, so I wanted to make sure the castle was lower than he was. Next, using white face paint, I'm sketching in the castle and part of the hills, trying to follow the shape of the castle as best as possible. Making sure the stag is overlooking the castle and making sure that the castle is nestled in between the hills. Now going in and filling in the rest of the hill shapes. Now I begin to fill in the background or the sky area. Around where the castle is, it kind of has a white glow. So I started with the white face paint around the outside of the castle. Then started to sort of fade the white into my skin tone so it would be blended later with the gray. Then I used a gray face paint to fill in the rest of the sky. I would typically not use gray as a sky color, but that is sort of what design looks like. Then I began to use more white face paint to overlap the gray areas. Next, I'm using the Mehron Ultra White Setting Powder, and this is going to be what blends into the gray for more of a glowy, faded kind of ombre look. Using a powder over the face paint usually gives it a better blend. Then the sky sort of has these faint glow rays from the center, so I used that same white powder on a brush and just sort of tried to make these lines. Then used a fluffy brush to sort of fade them into the background. But after all was said and done, those lines sort of started to fade away, but I still felt like it had sort of a sky feel to the background, so I left it as it was. Next, I outlined the castle in black and then filled it in. Then use that same white powder in front of the castle to sort of give it a glow in front of it. Then here I'm adding a few white highlights to the stag to kind of show that the sun is gleaming off of him. Next, with a dark brown shade, I filled in the hills. Then towards the bottom, I added a little bit of black to show some dimension and shading. Then with red eyeshadow, I start adding the areas where the flowers will be. Then I begin filling in the next section of the hills. Here I'm adding some black in a shadow shape around the stag to give it more of a three-dimensional feel. Then I added some light brown for some coloring to the stag. Then beginning with orange face paint, I'm adding some texture and sort of flowers to the top of the hills. Then using the same pattern, I am going over that with red. Then adding some patches of yellow flowers. Then up front in the forefront, I'm adding some larger flowers, making the background of those flowers yellow and then adding some red and orange to the middle. And that completes our Kingdom of Ash inspired makeup look. I really like how the stag overlooks the castle in this design, and I was really excited to give it a try. Let me know what you guys think of this look in the comments down below, and be sure to check out my other Throne of Glass inspired looks. Thank you guys so much for watching and hope to see you guys again soon.